Hi, I'm Bini Jobi from Hummingbirds Teachers Training Academy, batch 2021. Today, I'm going to discuss about Montessori method of teaching. Montessori method is based on self-selected activities and eye-hand coordination. This method mainly focuses on complete development of child. Kids also focus on independent learning. Maria Montessori is the founder of Montessori method of education. Maria Montessori was an Italian physician and educator best known for the psychology of education that bears her name. Montessori education has many principles. Principles of individual development, principles of liberty, principle of self-education, principle of sense training, principle of muscular training, and principle of non-punishment and rewards. Now let's discuss about benefits of Montessori education. There are many benefits for Montessori education. No burden on students, focus on overall growth of a child. Children learn on their own pace, multi-age classrooms. Children have the freedom to select the activities. These are the main benefits of Montessori education. In Montessori classroom, an ideal setup should be set up for individual activities. All the accessories should be easily accessible to the children. Children are free to select the activities of their own. In Montessori classroom, we can see different age groups. Students are working together. We may also see that the older children helping the younger ones. Here, children are divided into multi-age group. Infant to toddler programs is age group between 0 to 3. Preschool and kindergarten is the age group between 3 to 6. Elementary school, the age group is between 6 to 12. And middle and high school group is between 12 to 18. This set of classroom help leadership skills and social skills. Montessori curriculum is divided into 5 main areas: language, maths, sensorial, practical, and cultural life. Practical life helps the child to develop independent sense of order and independence to improve self-confidence, concentration, fine motor skills, reading and writing, self-fully, and care for environment. This includes everyday routine and practices of life, preparing food, dressing, how to correct areas of the room, how to clean dishes, or how to water and care for plants. Language curriculum. Montessori observed that children have a thirst for language and communication. Communication allows the child to express their needs and ideas to others. Through language, we are able to cooperate, collaborate, receive knowledge, and pass knowledge to others. Children at the Montessori school learn to write before they learn to read. They start their journey of learning the letters sounds using sandpaper letters, which incorporate the sense of touch for future learning. They trace the letters with their fingers on the textured sandpaper inscription of the letters. In Maths Montessori, the Montessori maths includes the development of concepts such as numeration, place, value, fractions, and the basic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division using numbers up to 9,999. Max Montessori method mainly focuses on number and number relation abstract concepts. The practical activities prepared for the children for the easy learning of maths. Next is cultural. Cultural studies area of the classroom encompasses variety of subjects that are supplementary to the Montessori method. Cultural subjects include geography, science, botany, zoology, and arts and science. Cultural studies help the child to form a systematic understanding about their surroundings, and it is also teaches to accept different ways of life led by different people. Next is sensorial. The sensorial area in the Montessori classroom focuses on lessons and activities that helps to develop the five senses: seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, and smelling. The lessons and activities provided in the sensorial area of the classroom help children to classify and understand the world around them. Now, let us see about various types of sensorial methods taught in the curriculum. Visual discrimination is the ability to detect the difference and similarities in size, shape, color, and pattern. Now, let us see about the different types of sensorial methods. Visual discrimination teaches children how to differentiate between forms, colors, and sizes. It helps them to tell things apart. Learning to differentiate helps children to categorize and is taught through objects that can be sorted or interacted with in different ways. Tactile sense. Tactile sense has a huge part in Montessori environment. Variety of tactile options available for children to interact with what the objects feel like: soft, scratchy, smooth, and bumpy. Stereogenic sense. Stereogenic sense is a sense that requires a person to identify an object without looking, smelling, tasting, or hearing it. An experience of stereogenic sense would be finding your alarm clock in a dark room without being able to see it. By removing sight, smell, taste, and sound from a child, it strengthens other senses, especially touch. We do this by placing an object in a cloth bag and then asking the child to feel it with their hand to determine what is it. Barrack sense. Similarly to touch an object, Barrack learning, typically taught through the Barrack tablets, helps the child to feel the difference in weight between one object and another. Using weighted objects that vary in size, shape, and color encourages children to focus on the weight of the object. Next is thermal sense. The teaching children about the difference in temperature does not just teach them about the world around them, it teaches them about safety as well. One of the most practical way to teach a child about temperature is with the changing of seasons, given that the temperature will determine how they dress for the day. Olfactory sense. Olfactory sense is sense of smell. Children can develop their sense of smell by sorting and matching objects based on the strength of smell. We can teach the vocabulary associated with the smells as well as how to compare between strong and faint smell. This is often performed by smelling bottles. At home, we can incorporate olfaction into everyday activities like cooking and gardening. Gustatory sense. This sense develops the taste buds with trying, testing, and sorting various tastes. Mealtimes can become learning experiences and can help your children to develop wide-ranging palates and a varied diet. Chromatic sense. Children isolated the chromatic sense with color tablet activities. Children first distinguish between primary color, then secondary, and finally the various graduation of each. These exercises allow the child to look at the tree and see the many variations of grains found in the leaves. They can observe the variation of color. The child can truly perceive the beauty found on earth. Now, we can see some activities which can be easily done at home. These activities will help us in the child in eye-hand coordination, motor skills, sensorial and practical skills. These are some activities useful for muscular strength in the of the child. To start a Montessori activity, we need to create an environment, a place for everything, and that should be easily reachable. Things should be kept in lower shelf, especially books. Things should be kept in lower shelves. Rotate the books weekly so that the children will not get bored. Focus on an inner motivation, not on rewards. Parents should be a keen observator to notice the difficulties children facing and the child's interests based on. Let's move to the activities for 0 to 3 years. This group of children will be messy. The perfection will be less, but don't force the child. First activity is spooning. Spooning grains. Materials required are 2 containers, spoon, pulses or cereals. Invite the child to transfer pulses from one container to another by using the spoon without spilling. It helps the child to develop the exact muscular control, independence, and concentration. Next is pouring water. Materials required are water bottle, 2 or 3 glasses to pour water, cloth to wipe out the spill. The child spill water, then kindly show them how to wipe it using cloth. Child will definitely enjoy this activity. Next is sensory search activity. 1. Materials required are 1 container, small objects, rice or beans. Sensorial search activity is good for enhancing the sensorial skill for children, especially the younger ones. Let the child play freely in the rice to know the texture of rice. As the child found out the each object, let's move to the finger gently over the objects to feel and touch. Next is scoop and transfer activity. Materials required are container, small object, cloth, water, filter or net. Here place few blocks in water. By using filter, transfer it to another container. This activity helps in eye-hand coordination, finger grip and muscular strength of hand and fingers. Now let's see some practical life activity. Folding cloth is one of the practical life activity which helps in muscular strength of fingers, independence and concentration. It also helps in mathematical concepts like geometrical concepts. Encourage the child to fold the handkerchiefs, socks, small t-shirts, etc. Some practical life activity we can practice at home are setting the tables, pouring water to drink, sit properly in a chair, cleaning the table, dusting, folding and unfolding clothes, cleaning up spills, etc. Next is taste. To develop the same taste sense and the ability to differentiate between them. Materials required are different. Food to taste, containers, clothes to wipe. Next, balloon activity. In this balloon activity, take balloons and fill it with different items that you found in kitchen. Sugar, salt, green gram, rice, cones, etc. can be used. And ask the child to touch the balloon and segregate. The child will surely enjoy this activity. Sensorial activity. This is very fun activity for the child will really enjoy. This can be easily done at home with different containers, glasses, spoons, tumblers, etc. Here the child is exploring the sound for identify different types of sound. At last, we can give some homeworks. Ask the child to trace the lines by using favorite crayons. We can give straight line, slipping lines, standing lines, waves, etc. Thank you.